welcome to week 31. I just arrived at school and parked. Should be an okay week. I think I've got most of the biggest stuff out of the way. We'll see. Last week of classes, so kind of coasting to the end, I hope. Maybe. Hi for lunch. I know I must sound like a broken record, but I'm heading downstairs to give the girls their treat for the evening. And what do I discover? The heat is on. Yes, I put the camera down at the path of the fan, so maybe you heard it. And yes, it is set on a blistering 65 or so degrees. Not even 70, kind of sad. You ready for a treat? Yeah? Okay. Sorry I had to video a bit. Can you forgive me? She's not very happy with the fact that you're distracting me from my proper duties of caring for her. It's Tuesday morning, waiting for Rich to come downstairs. It seems to be a common refrain. Good morning. How you doing? It's also still very foggy and gray outside. It's gonna be a busy day. My calendar's almost full, and I've got a photo shoot tonight. Wednesday morning, just got to school. I'm gonna go have breakfast with my riders, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a busy day. Lots going on. It's Thursday morning. I am all alone in the car because Rich woke up feeling unwell. Actually, he wasn't feeling well last night. I think he may have been running a slight fever even. And he woke up this morning saying he had pain in his back. So he's staying home, gonna try to go to the doctor's today. Because if he's coming down with something, we gotta nip this in the bud. Don't want him sick next week when we're preparing to go to Europe. We've had a unexpected 12 hours or so. When I was on my way home last night, I got a text message from Rich saying that he wasn't feeling very well. You know, he stayed home yesterday. He'd gone to my doctor's office during the day and seen the nurse practitioner about the pain in his back. They weren't sure what was going on. Sent him for some x-rays. That turned out to be nothing. He came home probably around 5 o'clock and said he tried to take a bath to relax, and the pain was so intense when he went to lay back in the tub, he couldn't stand it. So before I got home, he took himself to the emergency room nearby. So I got a text message when I was driving home saying that's where he was. So I went there, blood tests were done, and that led them to suspect blood clots in his lungs. So they did a CT scan, and sure enough, that's what it was. So they admitted him to the hospital. He's been there overnight. They started anticoagulant drugs to break up the clots, and that's where things stand. I'm heading over to the hospital right now. How are you feeling? So I've got a good view of the Castro from Rich's room, and you can see how the fog is creeping into the city. It's Friday afternoon. We're still waiting for test results and to hear from the doctor. At this point, I'm guessing he's going to be here overnight again. So, yeah, the waiting part is the most frustrating thing. He's resting now. Doesn't seem to be in too much pain anymore, so that's good. I know he's feeling better because he's making his own bed. So it's Saturday morning. I walked into the joint and found him cruising around the hallways, looking pretty normal. So that's a good sign. You look good.
I'm trying.
You look really good. It turns out our friend Vince, who we have known since the New York days, lives next door to the hospital, literally next door. So I'm sitting on his deck, enjoying some sunshine. It's an absolutely gorgeous view here. We got Richie a little day pass so he could get some fresh air, and he is taking a shower here because he didn't want to take another lukewarm shower in the hospital room. This is looking up. So Vince kindly allowed us to come over here and use his deck.
Yes, it's a lovely, lovely day.
We were just reminiscing about the conditions we lived in New York 25 years ago.
When I was living in an apartment that was, you put your arms out and you would just lean this much to the side, and that would be one wall, and that would be the other wall.
Yeah.
And then it was about 10 feet, 12 feet to one window.
Yeah.
And that was the window that I left open this long, and I had those two doves, and I came Gertrude and Alice, and the window was open about this big, and I was on the 9th floor, and I came back from classes one day, and Gertrude and Alice were nowhere in my space. And so they couldn't really fly well, so they were like feathered bowling balls. And I have a feeling that Gertrude and Alice just kind of, they got through the crack, and I'm sure they didn't fly very far. And so I just, for the next week, walked out the building and never looked out. I just would look up and imagine them flying someplace.
Oh my! Yeah, those are the days when we had the kitchen in the hallway too. So, fun times.
Fun times. And more
Fun
and more.
times.
So next thing I know, it's been like only 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But I'm like, oh shit, Trixie's, So I run out and I'm like, I get the bags and I close the door. So then I'm like, let's find the cat. So I go around your apartment and I'm like, you know how she always hides from me. So I'm like, okay, we'll look for Trixie. So I did a systematic search of the living room, and that's when you had the living room here, and then you had like your back wall with like the desk and stuff.
Yeah,
So the living room, go to the back wall, can't find her. I'm like, all right, this room's clean. So I, put a block there. And I go in the bathroom, which is like only this big, and I look at I'm opening cabinets. So I can't find her. I go to the kitchen, can't find her. And I didn't want to go through your bedroom, but at this point I'm a little, I don't want to breach your privacy, but I'm like, I need to find this cat. Right. So I'm like underneath your bed, and I'm looking all over. I open your closet a little, and she's nowhere. Like now So I'm officially freaking out. Like I really am. So I just so I did a real quick through your apartment again. I'm like, she's gone. Like she got out of the hallway. So I run out of the hallway. So I run up and down the hallway, and you were like at the end of the hall where those doors go into the fire. There was like a staircase.
Yeah.
So I know your whole building really well now so I'm running up and down the staircase. Like she's somewhere here. Can't find her. I go down to the front lobby. Nothing there. I'm just like, this cat is in the building. So I'm freaking out. So I'm looking all over. And I think I was leaving like that day. Like I think I flew too. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do here. So I'm looking around. I'm like, I can't stay. I can't put up lost cat signs. I can't. But I go, maybe she's in the apartment somewhere, because I knew she would hide in your apartment in New York. There was like,
she had
4 square feet, and I couldn't find her. So I'm like, she might be here. So I'm just gonna close the door and pretend. So then I called later to Mark, and I'm like, hi, how's everything? And he's like, things are great. And I'm just like waiting, I'm waiting for I thought that you would call me. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, so how's Trixie? And he's like, oh, she's right here. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. So then I gushed out. I couldn't find her. And I told the whole story. I was just like, I lost.
I wonder where she was. She's probably in the...
would have never talked to me. I knew you would have never talked to me again. And you would have killed me. But I just could not find her. But I'm just like, I'm going to roll the dice on this. And I'm going to say she's in the apartment.
Yeah, she used to hide. I bet you she was...
She was in the laundry.
In the laundry basket.
Well, I didn't go through your dirty laundry.
Sunday morning in bed, huh?
Sunday morning in bed on Percocet watching Sex and the City. What could be better?
And so we come to another Sunday night. We're both home. Rich was discharged from the hospital shortly after 6. We've got a bunch of meds and more appointments in the next few days to deal with. Don't know what's going to be happening with the trip to Europe. Doesn't look like we're going to go. Not sure when we'll reschedule. So lots of questions. Wish I could end on a more optimistic note, but that's just the way it is.